Hello, everybody. Welcome to Internet Traffic Kings. I'm the big Fabu, John Fondi, and we've got a great show planned for you. And we've got some interesting and very talented guests that are going to be on this show. Of course, we're broadcasting from the campus of
Interesting.
UNLV in Las Vegas. And speaking of interesting, gives me great pleasure to bring to the microphone our executive producer, Kevin D. Vincenzi, better known as the ClickFather. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, John. So how can it be an interesting show? You're putting me on the hot seat. It should be more than interesting. It should be the best show ever. Come on now.
That's why we have the cough button to put on if we don't like your answers.
There you go.
And
Perfect.
so, well, do you think that that life is at all getting back to normal? What are you seeing in your neck of the woods?
It's starting to. I mean, I'm hearing, certain states are really relaxing their rules. I know when I was back in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, with the exception of grocery stores, and I didn't go to any restaurants, but I mean, the overall day-to-day life looked like it was pretty much back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
But, other states like Arizona, I know relaxed all their rules and now they've got a big spike, so we'll see what happens. I mean, it's still going to be a long road back, unfortunately, for a lot of these businesses. But
yeah, and I think that we're doing more and more testing now. So obviously, when we weren't doing that before, so we need to be leery of the fact that we are going to see the numbers probably go up because we are doing testing, but we're seeing a lot of people that are basically recovering from it. And,
I think that's one of the biggest things is, just like the flu, not to take anything away from it. But it's one of those things that it's going to be a way of life, unfortunately. So, I've seen some people have gotten reinfected twice and different things have happened. Yes, you have to take precautions. Yes, you have to be more mindful of your surroundings and, what you're touching. But, at some point people have to live their life. And I think we're going to get back to that, in the short interim. Now, what happens in the fall, I don't know. Because if we have a big reinfection rate, everything may get shut down again. I mean, we just don't know what's ahead of us.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a lot about we are in a readjusting phase of a new normal that's out there, and it's like anything else. I still wear a mask when I go into the grocery store, and
well, that's when you rob it. That's totally different mask.
That's right.
Totally different mask.
And so, I walk into a bank with my mask on and people greet me, And so, but I actually did get tested a week or so ago, and my test.
They said you have everything but COVID, right?
That's right.
Like herpes, syphilis, you got it all, buddy.
And it was actually kind of it was a relief when I found out that I didn't have it as well.
Yeah.
So
I did some antibody testing about a month and a half ago as well. I got hold of some tests, where you have to prick your own finger and to see if I had the antibodies, which I don't. But interesting to still to go through that, but we'll see what happens.
Well, that's what they say. Kevin is a big prick, so
I was going to say, right? The prick had to prick. Actually, I was a little baby. I had to have my girlfriend do it, right? I'm like,
right. Anyway.
Speaking of that, John, I was looking at a report. So traffic during COVID, like online traffic, was more than the holiday season. So it actually surpassed the holiday season as far as people being online and people shopping. Far surpassed it, which is really interesting. So it goes into the big opportunity right now with online.
And speaking of online, I want to basically let everybody know that this is a non-advertiser sponsored show. It's kind of a free gift that we put out there, and you can actually go to our website, which is internettraffickings.com, and as well as you can give us a 5-star rating on iTunes podcast as well.
I mean, Apple Podcast.
Well, yeah, I guess we are calling that.
It's Apple Podcast. Yeah, it's Apple Podcast. Yeah, and Spotify.
Yeah, and Spotify. And we've got the YouTube channel, I understand, is doing really well.
Yeah, it is. It is. Each video is getting 7,000 to 10,000 views and some good interaction. People, if you go to YouTube and you click the subscribe button, then every time we release a new episode, you're going to get that episode as a notification, on your phone or on your computer. So that's another good way to watch it. And plus they get to see your pretty face, John. So what else do you want?
That's kind of what they watch it for, you know. So, but nevertheless, so there's valuable information here. And Kevin, I mean, you charge a healthy fee for your consultation and stuff. And so this is like somebody's getting a free consultation, from the best of the best
Yep.
out there as well. And so, we're up to show number 13. We're
Yeah,
really kind of moving along now, and
we are.
it's kind of great. Seems like the ratings are going up. People are really enjoying the show.
Yeah, we're getting all 5-star reviews, and the feedback that I'm getting from people is they're enjoying the content and they're learning a lot, and that's why we did it. That was the whole goal of the show, was to teach people. So we're getting there.
And I think we kind of went into this just saying, hey, let's, people are going to need something right now, with professionals and otherwise, and if we can do something good for somebody and make them feel a little bit better, change their career and help them along a little bit, that's essentially what we do. And so I don't know if I told you, but we're going to make you the star of the show today. And,
oh boy,
fun. Yeah. What we've done is we've kind of gone out and we're going to take questions from our viewing audience.
Great.
These are going to be somewhat a surprise to you, so we're going to see how fast you kind of dance on your feet and stuff like that. But I think
I don't want to be fast. I'd rather give thoughtful answers, but you got it.
So
I welcome the challenge.
And this is kind of great because we're getting these questions came from all over the world as well.
Oh, great.
So this is great that where people are really seeing that as well. So anyway, you've been in the business for about 24 years, so you're probably going to be able to do well with these questions because, in the years we've known each other, you pretty much roll with whatever gets thrown at you.
Yeah, and, adapt or die. That's right.
That's pretty much what it is and stuff. So anyway, let's get started with our first round.
All right, I'm ready.
Our daily double here as well. So anyway,
are there bonus questions? Do I get extra points for certain ones that are harder? Or?
Well, we'll have a lightning round near the end.
Oh, perfect. Great.
And you can earn some colorful parting gifts as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I'll actually be delivering those to you as well. So
great.
Our first question comes all the way from the UK, and it comes from Christian. And the question is, what is the best method to bid? Is it enhanced CPC, CPA, or top 3 positions?
Well, John, it's going to depend on your goals. So enhanced CPC is basically where you're bidding up to a certain amount. So you're saying this keyword, let's just say it's your television production studio, John. So you're bidding on TV production services. Mm-hmm. If you do a CPC, you could say, I want to bid, up to $2 a click, up to $3 a click, whatever that number is. With enhanced, it's doing the best to get the performance for you at a cap rate, meaning that you say, I want to pay no more than $2 a click, but get me as much traffic as you can up to that number. So most of my campaigns, I start with an enhanced CPC. And then once I record 20 or 25 conversions, I'll then move to a guaranteed CPA or to a goal CPA type campaign, meaning that I'm just paying toward a goal number. Let's say that you're going back to the analogy of your TV bidding. You're bidding that you want each lead to come in at $20. We would then do a CPA bid at $20, and the algorithms would all kick in, and the artificial intelligence would kick in to try its best to get you to that $20 or below goal.
And so you kind of do a little bit of a test run when you first start
on
out.
Enhanced CPC, and then you move to CPA bidding. Top 3 position I would never do, more so because now you don't know who your competitors are, and you might have a very large studio, John, that just doesn't give a shit. So they're like, you know what, I'll bid $50 a click. And if you're bidding for top 3 position, you're right in there going head and head with them. And there's no reason for that, because maybe Las Vegas television production studios is a keyword that's really expensive, but there's a bunch out there that are less expensive that'll still give you the same result that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So it's really understanding it and building it through. So
okay, well, great. We're gonna kind of bring it back here now from across the pond to the States, and we're gonna go to Connecticut right now for this next question. And this comes from Amy, and Amy says, I have a Shopify store selling women's clothing. What is the best way to promote it? That's a good question.
That's a really good question. So going to Google again, Google's got something called carousel ads. which basically you've probably seen it, John, when you shop for your online men's thongs, where you go through and the carousel, you can basically, there's different pictures of the items. So that's a really good way to showcase it. There's also Google Shopping that you can employ. And I think I mentioned it was last week or the last episode, Facebook and Instagram now have their own shopping sites that they've put up that they're not charging you to do your own store. So that's another way that I would, another thing that I would look at. And then, depending on if it's relevant or not, find influencers to do to do the promotion for you. As long as you can match it properly to the influencer, that's a great way as well. We're doing quite a bit with influencers now, and it's a fun, refreshing niche to be working in.
Yeah, I think so, and that's kind of really becoming a great marketing tool, because you're matching up an influencer that really loves your product and fits their bailiwick.
Right, and that's the key to it, John, is you have to match with the influencer for your product. Mm-hmm. I know that on the next episode, we have Matt Frary that does quite a bit of influencer marketing as well. Yeah. And we could talk more about how you match into it. But, just going on an influencer network and picking a bunch of influencers just to say, hey, John Fondi's television promotion, check it out now, that's not targeted. So you want somebody that's got it targeted where it resonates to your brand. That's the really most important part of it. And, taking the time to find these influencers. Personally, we find all ours on a one-on-one relationship. We're not using an agency in between, because we want to watch their videos. We want to see who we're getting ahead of time and then make an offer to them. It makes more sense for us, and we're seeing phenomenal conversion rates due to that.
Well, good. Okay, good answer. We're going to stay on the East Coast right now, move down just a little bit to New York. And this question comes from Harry. And Harry says, where can I learn more about online marketing, and specifically pay-per-call?
Pay-per-call. So Adam Young, who used to be on our show years ago, he owns a company called ringba.com, R-I-N-G-A-B. I screwed that one up. RINGBA.com. I don't know. Adam, I love you, but what a stupid name. No. So Ringba. So RINGBA.com. So Ringba.com has a masterclass that Adam put together. It's about 26 hours, 100% free. So I would just go to Google, put in Ringba Masterclass, and you'll be able to go through it. I've gone through it myself. I've had several of my employees go through it. It's a great, great resource. And, if you ever did it, John, you would literally understand the ins, the outs of pay-per-call in 26 hours. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master something. This in 26 hours, he did a phenomenal job putting it together.
So, well, yeah, and that probably will be something that I'll probably take the time to do that.
Great.
And I guess what we're saying is you really have to take the time to invest in yourself right now.
Absolutely.
And learn new things and be able to use those things, as you start to reinvent yourself. And so, hey, let's face it, maybe you do end up going back to work or going to the restaurant or whatever, but now you've got a new side hustle that can kind of help you if it ever happens again as well. So you really
you can also have a side hustle that just supplements your income while you have your regular job, which is great. That's now you've got, fun money or whatever it may be.
Yeah, right. So, okay. So now we are going to basically take a minute here, and we're going to go to Becky, who's sends this question from Indianapolis. It says, I heard on your show traffic has increased significantly. Okay, she's watching.
We just talked about that, yeah.
And the same time, traffic prices have dropped across the platforms. Yeah. So what are the best traffic sources that she says that she can buy and will most likely achieve the highest return on her investment? That's a big question, but very important.
It's just a bonus points, right? I want bonus points. Yeah,
definitely.
So besides your normal, your Google, your Facebooks, the easy ones, but they're not easy because they're very expensive. So if you're not good at what you do, you're going to get taken to the laundry. Yahoo/Verizon now, Verizon Media, they're very aggressive. I can't disclose how aggressive they are, but they're very aggressive in trying to get market share right now. So if you have a rep there, I would reach out to them about what type of incentives they have. And a lot of these smaller traffic sources, MGID, anybody that's got, we'll call it second or third tier, any of the native traffic sources, a lot of them will give you a bonus. So they'll give you either a deposit bonus, but you have to ask for it, either 100% matching bonus up to $500 or a 20% bonus. And essentially what that is that's giving you a little kickstart. So I love when I'm testing a new platform and I get a bonus, because now I'm already in positive ROI. So now I put 500 in and I've got 750 to make the campaign work as opposed to 500. So it's really just, more play money in a sense to get to that ROI that you're looking for, that return on investment. So I would look to some of the other platforms to be able to do that. And also the smaller platforms are going to be more lenient as to what creators you need, what types of ads you put up, where, you go with Facebook, you put up an ad, you don't know that you're not in compliance. They don't just shut the ad down, they shut your account down, and now you're dealing with that. So I would definitely start and get my experience on smaller networks, smaller traffic exchanges or networks, as opposed to just going for the big boys.
Well, and like we say here in Vegas, it's always a lot more fun when you're playing with the house's money.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's a man that needs no introduction, so we're not even going to introduce him. But you've had some big things that were happening, and very successful things, and I was a part of it as well. But I'll let you tell the story. How was the last endeavor, and tell us all about it.
No, I'm just kidding. It was great. It was amazing. But first, I want to know, how was your birthday, Kevin?
It was great. It was awesome. Yeah, we actually tried to book a farm. There was a farm called Flip Flop Ranch that we were going to book that has, you've goats and chickens and horses, but they were closed for COVID.
Wow.
So, I booked it online and all ready to go and ready to pack the car up and, take a 2-hour drive to Big Sur, and guess what? Closed. Yeah, but we ended up going to Paradise Cove and, had hung out on the beach and did dinner there, and it was great.
I love Paradise Cove. Okay, I had to get.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Now that I know he had a good birthday, I can talk.
Now you can talk. Okay.
The Big Fabu.
Hey, what
Big
do you
Fat
say,
Boo.
man?
I saw him dancing. I got that. Now I have 2 dancing videos. I have one from 10 years ago.
That's right.
For the milkshake, which I still haven't sent you, Darren. And and then I have it. Then we have the new one.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. We had a lot of fun. It was very successful. And Darren, you're known and have been known for your outrageous affiliate balls, and they're just. And you can take that any way you want to, but we kind of jumped out on a limb and did something that really has not been done before. And you created a virtual digital trade show. Was it easy to do, or when it was all said and done? Second question: are you glad you did it?
Well, first, I'm super glad we did it, and we're not done. I took a little time off afterwards because I was exhausted. But yeah, it's a lot of work, and it was a huge success. And we had at least 3,000 to 5,000 people attend it. We learned a lot from it. When you're the first to do it a certain kind of way, there's a learning curve, and you figure things out as you go, just like anybody who's starting a new business. So I think we learned a lot, and we're going to work on building it even better. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot, but I was very pleased with the turnout. I loved how many exhibitors we had. I thought that the speakers were unbelievable, and we're about to put up the speakers on the site pretty soon, by the way.
Yeah, I got some good feedback from a lot of my people, and they said that the site was easy to navigate to. There was a lot of information, and everybody was just blown away, just totally blown away by the speakers that you selected, and great information. And the thing I noticed is that they were all just, as individuals, just great people as well.
Yeah, and
we actually have one on our next podcast, Matt Ferry, who's awesome.
I love Matt. He's the best.
Yeah, I can tell you the feedback as an exhibitor that I had, Darren. The quality of people was really good, so that was very refreshing. And then very easy to follow up. And my second point was, I saw you guys made a shift from day 1 to day 2 for the exhibitors, meaning like fixing the navigation where they could, interact more and what have you. So, and that's something you normally don't see, at least in a physical trade show. In a physical trade show, if you complain about something, it's like, yeah, we'll fix it next show, or, you know, and with the digital environment, it was great to see your team just jump into action and address what, you know, whatever the needs were. And we saw a big increase on day 2 as far as the booth activity. So it was great.
Well, we have a really great team that we've assembled. So everybody
Great.
did their job, and, you know, it was amazing to see. But yeah, I mean, we did a lot of tweaks. I mean, here's the truth. When we first started doing the virtual digital expo, we were leasing a platform that we found out there. So when we set the original date of when the expo was, I figured, okay, 2.5 months. We know we have a platform we can use. And after maybe the first 2 weeks of learning their platform, I realized this really doesn't do what I want it to do. It's not,
Right.
it doesn't feel like a trade show. So then we kind of threw it out the window. I got with my developer, and we came up with ideas of how we could do it better and incorporate Zoom, which a lot of people are using these days. One of the things that we didn't foresee happening is that Zoom did an update literally the day before. So like,
Right.
everybody had to download the update, and that was a whole nother mess with confusion, you know, like user confusion. But yeah, so I mean, we literally built a platform in 2 months, and then I think the night before we went live was the day that we actually finished it. So it was kind of like a live beta test day 1. I wish we had more time to practice, but we had so many sponsors. We had like 50 exhibitors. I didn't want to push it back. I figured if we can just release it and let it
Right.
figure it out as we go, it's more important to release it. And I figured everybody's going to get leads from it. And that's, you know, your point that you said before about the quality. I think
Yeah.
that part that I learned is that for somebody to go into a Zoom room, they're way more qualified to talk business with you. When you see somebody
Sure.
on the show floor, you feel forced to have to stop by. You know the person. You start.
It's that, or are they coming for an incentive? Or are they coming for a party pass? You know, you've always been gracious in giving us a whole bunch of party passes, but then, you know, the person will come to the booth and, you know, you'll engage a conversation. They'll be like, yeah, and they're looking over your head going, by the way, can I get one of those passes to the party tonight? So this was more people came to interact for business, and I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we've got Bennett Kelly in the green room as well. So let's take about a minute now and talk about the AFI Awards as well.
Ooh, yeah, the AFI Awards. You noticed that, huh?
Uh-huh.
We gave you one live during the
I still got
party.
mine.
Yeah, you know, we have a very great group of AFI Award winners. And here's what I also learned is that when you do it virtually, you actually get more information out of the award winner. So it was really
Right.
cool to be able to pre-record it, but play it live and get like 5 to 10 minutes with each winner and hear exactly what do you do, like, and how are you doing it, and how can I help you bring that audience. So what we're going to do now is put up the AFI Award videos on Virtual Digital Expo, but I want to go back and I want to interview everyone who's ever won an AFI that wants to be interviewed.
That's great.
Yeah,
That is great. So
That's great, because I can tell you firsthand, you know, after doing a trade show when I got my AFI in January, thank you very much. After doing a trade show for 3 days, I mean, you're dead, right? And now you're going to this great affiliate ball, and A, it's loud, you know, B, it's, you know, it's semi-intimidating as far as, you know, up on stage. Again, Darren's got great stage presence. So does Deborah, but you know, you're walking into an environment. So even though you want to say 100 things, you know, you pretty much don't say much. I think mine was like, you know, thanks Missy and Sean for being great. Thank you, Darren. And, you know, see ya, you know, very quick, where you're right, where you can really get more out of somebody and almost turn it into an interview and really understand what the person, you know, what
I think
that's
I think it's great. I think it's
that's
awesome.
what I saw as well, and I think you should, you know, take everybody up on that because you do get to know them as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, a big fat fabu going out to you, Darren Vlad, the big D money, and we're going to have you back here in a little bit, next few shows to see how the new one's coming along, and give my best to your family. And thanks again for making us a part of it.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate that. You guys were a huge part of it. And Kevin, you had 2 booths there. That was amazing.
Yeah, no, it was great. Listen, and whenever the next one is, I'll have 2 booths again. It was great. It was awesome.
All right. Hey, you enjoy the week and the upcoming weeks as well. Stay safe for everybody there as
Yeah,
well.
and happy Father's Day.
Yep, that is. Well, we've unlocked the green room and drug him out one more time. And we're talking, of course, about the big barker. We're talking about the big dog, Bennett Kelly of the internetlawcenter.net. Bennett, nice to have you back. You've been busy and we've missed you.
Yes, a lot of briefs been filing, been a busy period. And significantly, I managed to shed some of my COVID here. Although I'll tell you this,
I shaved too, see? Yeah,
when you get your haircut at a mani-pedi place, and they ask you what number for a haircut, meaning what size blade you're either going to use, it's not a good sign. But it is at least good to not look like I belong on the set of the biography of the Unabomber.
And your stylist wore a mask?
I'm sorry?
I said your
Yeah,
stylist
she wore a mask.
wore a mask?
She wore a mask, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago, so I went for a mani-pedi. Are my nails nice?
They look great. It makes all the difference in the show.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, absolutely.
It's a visual thing, yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting because they used, we'll call them clothing racks,
Mm-hmm.
and they put the clothing racks with a piece of plexiglass. So basically, if you were getting and you had to wear a mask, if you were getting a pedicure and somebody was next to you, they would bring the that and roll it in between you, which actually worked really well because my girlfriend was complaining about something. I said, hey, could you just bring that, please? And just like section me in. It worked out great. But they wore a face mask and a face plate on top of that and gloves. Yeah. So it was like, like full. Yeah. So
that's good.
Pretty interesting.
I had a little, go ahead, Kevin.
John. No, go ahead, John.
I had a little procedure since the last time we had the last show on. And so the anesthesiologist basically came in. I said, look, I'm a little bit on a tight budget here. Do you mind if I do my own anesthesiology? He goes, nah, knock yourself out. Okay. I should say we haven't lost it, but I think we have lost it. But,
and what did he do? He played some of my old shows?
Yeah, there you go.
That's correct.
So speaking of that, Bennett, one thing that I've noticed, even like going out for my birthday dinner yesterday, which I don't know why I had to pay my own check, but anyway, put that aside.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you so much. It feels good to be 30 for the 19th time in a row. They're surcharging everything for like a health. I see the shock in your face. I saw it in Vegas at the manicurist place, and then this is the first restaurant I've been out to. They're doing a 5% surcharge for health and sanitation or something like that. I mean, is that, my thought, Bennett, was just add it in the food cost then.
Actually, in some ways, I can see why you wouldn't. Because
I can see why as well, but it's just, you add that, you add the sales tax, you add your gratuity of 15 to 20%, whatever. It just, you know what I mean? It doesn't, especially the more expensive restaurants, right? Let's take, Mastro's, down the block from me, Mastro's Malibu. If you and I go out to dinner, we spend, we'll say $500 on dinner, which would be a cheap night for you and I, and it might be more than 5%, but even at 5%, it's a $25 surcharge, for just our table. And I don't know if, again, I'm sure they're not doing it to make money, and I understand it. And I understand the restaurant business has been tough. It's just from a consumer standpoint, it's like, wow. So you're already battling raised prices, right? Because a lot of these restaurants have raised their prices,
I was wondering that. Did they raise their price?
From what I've seen, yes. I know the grocery stores have, the grocery stores absolutely have. But which is another pet peeve I have, the little Vons down here, they do no returns right now because of COVID. So, I'll run in there and I'll power shop and I'll pick up, a bunch of stuff or whatever. And literally, this is 2 times I've shopped now where I look and things are a month and a half expired. Oh. And now I'm stuck. And I'm talking about roast beef or, perishable. Yeah, seriously. Which, by the way, John, when you come on Sunday, we're serving roast beef.
All you can eat, probably.
All you can eat, yeah. It's just interesting of how they're adjusting, And
I can see the value of having the charge on the statement as a way of communicating, we're making these efforts.
Sure.
You
Okay.
know,
That's
so
fair.
to give you some sense of security, in fact, you know, and here's the charge. You know, I would say do that rather than raise prices, but it looks like they're
Right.
doing both.
Yeah, I think, yeah. But again, you know what? It's been a long road for everybody. I mean, even the Paradise Cove, you know, even their beach beds outside, it's $50 for the day for a beach bed, but you know, every other one is covered. So they can't
Wow.
even, you know, so you can't
Yeah.
even, you know, conduct business properly. So I see it. I just wonder how long that's going to last, and you know what the
Is Duke's they're open, right?
Yeah, when I drove back from Malibu yesterday, being it was a Thursday, I was shocked because everybody was slammed. Nobu was hilarious because all the paparazzi were outside as somebody was coming out, and not one paparazzi had a face mask on. Not one. Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, Nobu was slammed yesterday.
Which must please the celebrities.
Yeah, exactly. When they get up in their face, like, "Hey."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it seems like the restaurants are. John, I'm still talking. Damn it!
I can tell that.
Got to slow down that heart monitor they did. You know. But it seems like most restaurants are doing well.
Good.
You know, I just don't know about capacity. I've heard quite a bit of different things as far as people overdoing their capacity, like letting more people in than they should be, or what have you. But
Is there some issue about bathrooms? Because I heard COVID can spread by flushing the toilet.
You know, so, I don't know. I know that when I went for my teeth cleaning this week, they had their bathroom out of order. So they sent me to like someone in the building or whatever.
Well, you should brush your teeth someplace else anyway.
Yeah, I know. But that toilet water is great in the Palisades. I don't know why. It works wonders. But I know they're limiting how many people can go to the restroom at once.
Right.
You know, 2-3 people or what have you. I went to a McDonald's driving into Vegas, actually, at Barstow or somewhere, and they were only allowing one person at a time into the men's room. You know, which totally doesn't work for John because he likes to just sit there lurking in the corner. So that just, you know, he was out of business because nobody was coming in. He just kept peering under there, going, "Where are they? Where are they?" But nobody else was coming in.
That's right. There were no toes to tap underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah, what will Senator Wide-Stance do? But
hey Bennett, you know, you've been really busy, and we appreciate you coming back on here today. We missed you and stuff like that. Anything in particular that you've seen here over the last couple of shows before we didn't have you on here?
Well, actually, I do have an announcement. A year ago, I was called to Washington to the Justice Department, and they did a brainstorming session with a bunch of couple of lawyers, law enforcement people, FBI, Justice Department, academics on how to battle online harassment. And it was just about 20 of us, and working with the Justice Department and the RAND Corporation. They've just this week released some of the findings of that report and areas of improvement that of where we need to raise awareness about how to combat online technology-enabled abuse is what they're calling it, and that there's just a need for greater awareness, particularly among law enforcement and even judges. I mean, I've had judges that one judge has told me, "I don't do internet cases, sorry." And I'm like, well, I don't seem to recall that being part of your oath. But luckily, he transferred my case, so I got a judge who wasn't as lazy. But so it's good to see where it's getting more attention and it's becoming a bigger issue.
Sure enough. Well, anyway, we're going to, of course, have you on for our next show and talk about some other things that have taken place as well. But, keeping the tradition alive here, Bennett, tell us something that we should know and something that we need to know.
Sure. So one thing you should know is that the FTC is still working and still very much active, and they are cracking down on COVID-related false claims. There are a number of people that say they just sent 30 warning letters to 30 more marketers, and this was just yesterday, to stop making unsupported claims that their products and therapies can be effective to prevent or treat COVID-19. And
Mhm.
so we should probably come clean and say watching this show won't cure COVID. But and they're also going after, apparently some marketers decided to use a mailer to say, come here to get your COVID-19 stimulus check, and it was for used car sales. So that is
Oh,
you
wow.
need to know. And one thing
Yeah.
you should know about is that you may have seen that President Trump made the announcement about an executive order to go after social media companies and in response to Twitter putting labels on some of his tweets. Well, now the Justice Department has released a report, and it's calling for legislation that would tamper with right now platforms have immunity under what's called the Communications Decency Act, or CDA Section 230, which says that whatever third parties post, they're not responsible for,
Sure.
and they're not liable for moderating posts. And so what the Justice Department has advocated, and one senator has already introduced legislation to do, would be to create liability. In fact, the senator creates a cause of action if they don't moderate those posts in a good faith basis. And the fear is that this is just going to spawn a whole new wave of litigation, and either they won't make posts, they'll restrict content and not make it available, or they won't restrict content, in which case you'll just have a whole cesspool of information.
Right.
And one thing it could affect would be spam filters, because people
Right.
have sued that spam filtering is censorship
Sure.
and unfair business practice, and the platforms have been found to be immune under CDA 230. And so this could just bring all that litigation up again. So I don't think anything's going to happen this year. It's election year, and
Right.
plus it's even crazier with COVID. But it's a political battle that's begun.
Well, great. Thank you. Good stuff. And Kevin, as always, tell us something that we should know. And then, of course, something that we absolutely need to know.
So something that we should know. We're in World 2.0 now. That's where we are. That's a fact. What you need to know is, just keep learning, keep doing what you're doing, expanding your horizons. This is a warning of what can happen and what may happen again in the fall, as far as businesses being shut down. And, get your finances in order, figure out what is a priority.
Mhm.
Now's not the time to go buy a sports car or to do anything foolish, in a sense that you don't know, you might be making money today, you might not be making it tomorrow. I mean, that's a reality. At the same time, keep empowering yourself and make good decisions.
Well, great. Thank you so much. I want to thank the big dog, Bennett Kelly. You can find him at internetlawcenter.net. I also want to thank the ClickFather, our executive producer,
Absolutely.
for your great thoughts and things of that nature. We'll do more of the Q&A as the upcoming episodes come along. And Kevin, thank you so much for just let us rapid fire. And
Absolutely.
we got some great parting gifts for you. And for
Great.
you, our viewing audience, we want to thank you so much for broadcasting from the campus of UNLV here in Las Vegas, which is kind of partially back open again. And we appreciate your questions coming in and want you to be a part of it. Don't forget to check us out on all the normal places, but of course go to internettraffickings.com, and also tell us where they can go to give us 5 stars, Kevin.
5 stars, Apple Podcast, and you can also go to Spotify.
Spotify as well. Don't forget to go to YouTube. Great stuff up there. Make sure you're a subscriber as well. So once again, I'm the Big Fabu, John Fondi, and as always, we thank you, our most valuable possession, our viewing audience, for joining us. We'll see you on the next Internet Traffic Kings. Have a great week.